All right, so continuing our discussion on the story of West Indies batsman Devon Thomas being charged by the International Cricket Council for 7 counts of breaches of their anti-corruption code. The breaches are suspected to have occurred between 2021 and last year in the Lanka Premier League, Caribbean Premier League and Abu Dhabi T10. They include contriving or being party to an agreement to fix or attempt to fix, contrive or influence improperly the result, progress, conduct or other aspects of matches, failing to disclose full details of an approach to the ACU, failing or refusing without compelling justification to cooperate in an ACU investigation, and obstructing or delaying the investigation by concealing, tampering with or destroying any documentation or other information. Joining us now to discuss is the Antigua and Barbuda Cricket Board stance is their president, Leon Kumar Rodney. Good afternoon. How are you?
Yes, good afternoon to you guys and good afternoon to your listeners. Hope all is well up in Jamaica.
Yeah, everything is fine for now. You know, whenever we invite guests, we love to talk about happy topics. Today, we've invited you, and unfortunately, we're discussing a corruption issue, including Devon Thomas. Just your initial thoughts when the news broke.
Right, so obviously, it's not something that you want for a West Indian cricketer, more so a Leeward Islands player, and more so to the heart an Antiguan player. And for those of us at our age would have known Devon from the time he's a child, you know, and come through the ranks here in Antigua on the 13s, 15s, 17s, 19s, right up to the senior team and representing the Leewards and the West Indies. So obviously when you have a news like that, it's not really good, you know, it touch all part of the heart.
And of course, we saw releases coming out from, you know, Cricket West Indies, Weeper and whatnot. Of course, you know, explaining that they would have done as much as they can to educate the youngsters. So basically saying that, you know, this is unacceptable from any player because you are basically equipped with the information to know better. What do you think about their stance, you know, the releases that came out?
Okay, right. So, you know, there's certain things that I would not be able to get into because, you know, I'm not sure if you know, I'm also a director at CWI. I have spoken to Wavell, the Weeper president, and they have given the assurance that they will be getting the best representation for Devon. The reality is that we here at the Antigua Barbuda Cricket Association, and in speaking to President Lewis of the Leeward Islands Cricket Association, we have to continue to give support, full support to the player. Let us also understand that obviously ICC, as you know, like the FBI, once they hear they name you, they have to have something serious about what is happening. They're not just going to put your name out there and say that this happened or that don't happen. So we have to accept that it's a serious issue, and CWI absolutely correct. Nearly every tournament, all the players, every players are involved, even the women's tournament that's going on now. Every time there's this anti-corruption seminar that takes place. So it's not that players are short of information. They have the information, but obviously I'm sure that you will accept that even in the church you have people that will step over the boundaries. I'm not saying that Devon is innocent, because we have to continue the notion that you're innocent until proven guilty.
You're not saying he's guilty?
Not saying that at all.
Yeah. Have you had the opportunity, well, I suspect you've had the opportunity to speak with Devon. Can you give us an idea of what his frame of mind is at this stage, given this latest news?
Right, so I would have spoken to him, yes. I spoke to him, and he's positive that once his lawyers can see and understand what he's saying, that he has a good defense of whatever happened, you know. So he's in a very strong frame of mind that, and positive that he will be okay.
Yeah. I know, as you pointed out, there is a lot that you will not be able to say. I know he has 14 days to appeal the charge from the ICC. Can you give us an idea of whether there will be an appeal?
I would say, based on what I understand from Weeper, that they will definitely have Devon given a response within the 14 days' time.
All right. We thank you very much. I think we are just losing your light for a second. But thank you very much for the insight. And hopefully we'll chat again and we'll continue to track this story and see what happens with Devon.
Thank you for having me, and let us just wish for the best for the young man, not only for him, but I hope that this will be a lesson to each and every one that continue to understand and observe the protocols and all the training that's put out by CWI and the International Cricket Council whenever there's a tournament. There's just no room in the in for it. But again, remember the young man is innocent and proven guilty.
Yeah, Leon Kuma Rodney, thank you very much for joining the SportsMax Zone. Lance, Mariah.
Yeah, not that young anymore, 33 years old, Devon Thomas, but he has a long history of representing West Indies. He played under-19 cricket for the West Indies at the World Cup back in, I think, 2008. And he also had a couple of seasons with the Jamaica Scorpions, so he's not just a Leeward Islands player. He has represented other franchises throughout the region. So as Kuma Rodney just mentioned, having known the young man from his early years, it touched the heart when the story came through. So the move is now to get his best legal representation possible and see what happens here, because he did suggest that he probably knows a little bit more than he was able to say on the show tonight. Did say that he had a word with Weber Hines, who is the CEO and president of West Indies Players Association. So I guess we'll just have to track this story and see what his response is in the 14 days that he has been given to respond, because the inference from Rodney is that there will be a response from Devon Thomas in his defense.
Yeah, I really appreciate the balance that he brought just now to the discussion, because sometimes it's very easy on our part, to just think about what is presented to us, as in, the CWI press release, the information that we got from the ICC, without thinking that, the player might have a side, they may be feeling a particular way. Because the first thing when you see things like this is to be like, okay, match fixing, anti-corruption, corruption, all these different things. You start thinking the person, you forget about the personal aspect about it, the human aspect. So I felt as if it was so necessary to speak to him just now, because it painted that picture.
Yeah, and also, what I also took from what Rodney said, and as he rightly pointed out, in these situations, the International Cricket Council will not bring a charge, make a release, unless they have a really good case.
Yeah.
And it is usually very difficult once cases get to this point for any player, or if it was in the case of an official, to shrug these type of charges. And it will be very difficult for Devon Thomas to be successful. Not saying it's impossible, but it will be extremely difficult for him.
All right, well, team, on that note, we have to leave this segment. But when we come back from the break, Lance Whitaker will be after track, and of course with one of our favorite segments. We're looking forward to see what this week has in store for us.